Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode. I hope you're doing really well today. I am doing much better. Last week's episode was quite heavy, and I've had so many lovely messages from people checking in, saying they're sorry for what I was going through. And it's been so wonderful to hear from you all. So, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for those of you who reached out in the DMs or on email or even on my YouTube, left some lovely comments. I really appreciate you. And yeah, things are moving in the right direction. And people who have jobs to do are doing those jobs. So we're just going to leave it there and let the karma angels take care of business. But yeah, I just want to say thank you all to everyone for checking in on me. I appreciate you all very much. All right, so back to business, back to talking about the $1 million year. And in this episode, I really want to kind of talk around the strategies of pre-selling and launching this $1 million offer. And just on the $1 million offer next week, I'll be going into sharing with you a lot more about the offer, what's in it, how I'm crafting it, and who I think it's going to be good for. So we're going to get into it a bit deeper next week, the actual offer. So I can't wait to share that with you all. But I wanted to talk about pre-selling and launching. And so if you've been in my world for any amount of time, you will know that I am a massive fan of pre-selling my courses, my programs, my group programs, my mastermind. And so much so, I've actually created a whole course on mastering the art of pre-selling. I think that's literally what it's called, mastering the art of pre-selling your offers or pre-selling your courses, because pre-selling as a strategy, if you've never used it before or you've never heard of it before, is a fantastic way to make sure that every time you launch a new offer, that it launches successfully. In fact, I think it's the only way. Now I'm saying it out loud. I think it is the only way that you can guarantee a successful launch is by pre-selling that offer. So, what does pre-selling actually look like for those of you who may not know what that means? Essentially, it's the idea of putting together an offer, okay, like an offer for your digital product or your service. You put together an offer that you release out into the world and say, who wants to buy this thing? Right. And what you're doing is getting people to pay you to have this thing, even if that thing isn't created yet. And people do this in different ways. I tend to not create the thing until somebody or people have paid me money for that thing, because what I don't want to do, and I've done this in the past, and some of you probably have done this, where you've maybe spent weeks or months creating a course because it's a brilliant idea in your head, and you go off and you invest time and money creating a course, and then you put it out there to sell it, and nobody buys it. Yeah, I've done that. And so when you pre-sell, you don't actually have to build anything. Your offer should state very clearly what they are going to get and when they're going to get it. So, for example, I might sell an upcoming mastermind. And when I'm pre selling it, I'm letting people know that you're not going to have access to it for like 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever that duration is going to be. But people are buying it fully informed that they're not going to get that thing right away or instantly, but they're going to get it at a certain date, which allows me as the creator the time to get it done, or to get the first module or two done, before the buyers come in. So there's normally a future date. It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be 3 months, depending on the thing. I mean, I recently just signed up to something in January, and it's a low ticket thing, which I'll probably share with you at some point. Um, it's a low ticket marketplace. And when they sold it, it was like, we're pre selling this and we're looking to launch this in May or June time, right? So we bought it knowing that this thing was being built out in the background, but we knew what the launch date is going to be. And so I love to use this method of selling because it validates an idea for me. So if I've got this, 3 a.m. idea, which I often get, or in a shower idea that pops into my head that I have to immediately launch because I'm ADHD and can't control myself, I can put that offer out there and pre-sell it. Now, if people buy it and want it and it's been validated by the audience and they put money and they put skin in the game, then I'll make the thing. But if people don't buy it, then it either tells me the offer was wrong or it's not something that the audience wants or needs. And so I don't waste my time making that thing, even if I think it was a brilliant idea. So pre-selling for me has been a fantastic way, which is why I have so many courses and workshops and masterclasses and things like that, because I always pre-sell them. And there is a process of pre-selling. It's not just about asking the question, it's about, okay, so when somebody does buy, and you're not actually releasing it for like 4 to 6 weeks, what do you do with those people in that meantime? And so there's a whole strategy around what you do with those people, and that is all inside my this is turning into a pitch for my pre-selling your offers training, isn't it? I didn't mean it to be, but it's all in there, right? So like there's a process of how you present your pre-selling offer. There is a process of what you do when people actually buy, and then there's a process about how do you keep them engaged and how do you deliver it, and all of that stuff all included inside my little handy masterclass mini course thing. Oh god, it sounds like I'm pitching. I don't mean to be pitching, I'm just saying I have a thing. uh, I love pre-selling so much that I created a whole training to help other people do it as well. So that's pre-selling, and in my mind I've been thinking about, should I or should I not pre-sell the $1 million offer that I'm creating. Now, generally speaking, with pre-selling, what happens is you sell it like as an early bird buyer. So you might say, hey, if you buy this thing early and come on board, it's often at a discounted or a reduced price. And as much as I love pre selling, I also have to be really mindful that I'm trying to make $1 million in a year. And so actually discounting any of this is probably not in my best interest, even though I love pre selling. So yeah, I've been back and forwards with that, but due to the fact that I'm not going to give any discounts and I don't really want to reduce the price, I've got my numbers now. I know how many people I need to get in at a certain price point if I want to hit that goal. So me starting to think about pre-selling to discount just kind of goes against what I'm trying to do. But I still really love pre-selling. So like it keeps like flittering in and out of my brain. Like, should I, shouldn't I, should I maybe try it for a week and see if we get some buyers, some early buyers in, or like, I don't know. I'm still flittering around with that. But pre-selling for me is still like a top way to launch new ideas. Just check the time. I really just rambled about pre-selling. We're nearly at time for 10 minutes. So apologies, this is going to be a bit longer. So the other side of the coin is the traditional launching, right? Where you're launching a new product, and generally when you're launching, you might have a 3 to 4 week window where you are only talking about this one offer. You might do some events that pull people in during that 3 to 4 week period, and all of your marketing, all of your promotion, all of your emails, everything is just focused on this one offer. And there's normally a date at which you end. Sorry about the dog. There's normally a date at which you end that promotional period, that launching period. Um, and so currently, I am looking at doing a traditional launch for the first cohort of this. And so when I look at my time schedule, for me, it's basically the whole month of April. Oh gosh, what's happened there? Light's gone out. I'm in darkness. I don't know if a fuse just went out or something. Sorry about that. I had a short circuit on one of my lights. So, and I've of course forgot where I was. So I think I was talking about April being my launch month, ideally. That I take 3 or 4 weeks of April to really hone in and talk about nothing else but this $1 million offer, with the idea that it closes at the end of April and it starts, the actual $1 million offer program uh, starts on the 1st of May. And that feels for me right now the best way to go for the first cohort. But as I said earlier, it may be a case that I do a week, maybe early April, where I do a pre-sale, like, flash sale type thing on this new offer to see if people buy it. Maybe. I don't know. And maybe there'll be a tiny reduction, maybe not a big reduction. Um, but essentially, I think what the smartest thing for me to do, the fact that I'm creating a brand new offer that I've never sold before, the fact that it is a high ticket offer that I've never sold before, and the fact that it's a slightly different audience to my existing audience, um, it feels to me that the best decision is to do a longer launch period, that kind of 3 to 4 week launch period of really um, ingratiating this new offer into people's minds so that people see it over and over and over again, to feel confident about buying this new offer at this high price point. I am like 100%, 100%, like so confident in the outcome of this new offer, and I'm very excited about getting it out there to people. Um, and I think it's going to be exciting for a lot of people, genuinely, because it will help a lot of online business owners. It will help a lot of people. Um, but it's new. It's new. It's never been done before. So I think doing a launch period of this is probably the wisest way to go. Although I will 100% tell you, I hate launching. And every time I've launched anything in the past, particularly with a long launch period, like I used to shorten it and just do like a week. Like a week launching is normally okay for me. Um, I'm very persistent. I'm out there posting, I don't know, 5 to 10 times a day. I'm very persistent. I get people interested, and a week is normally enough. But because this is high ticket, because this is a new audience, because this is a new offer, I really feel like a longer period is going to be better. But I just don't like doing traditional launches. Like it feels a bit, I don't know, it feels a bit, I want to say a rude word, but I don't want to upset anybody. But it feels a bit knobby to me doing a long launch period. I don't know why. I just, because I'm in this play era and this fun era, and launching in the traditional way feels a bit stale and a bit like what everybody does. And so I'm trying to think of, all right, well, what can I do instead of doing doing it the traditional way? How can I do this in a fun way that I actually enjoy? So I'm playing with some ideas in the background of what I can do to make launching fun and less dull. And I really want to make sure that by the end of this month, by the end of March, so we've got 6, 7 days, that actually most of my content that I want to put out there, like my average one a day posts, are done. Like I want those ahead of time done and scheduled so I don't have to think about those, because then I can do the extra fun things. I can do some gamification stuff. I can maybe do a couple of one-off events here and there, right? In that April period. But I want the core marketing for this to be done, scheduled, and going out to like all of the platforms. Um, I had this thought, this it just jumped into my brain, but I had this thought the other day. I don't know if this will be any good for you guys, whether I put this in the community hub or whether I do a whole episode on this where I talk about all the different tools that I'm currently using to get this done. My scheduling tool is just so dope and fire. Um, but there are other tools that I'm using to get stuff done and to get me out there and on as many platforms as possible and reaching as many people as possible. So if you want to hear about the tools, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Whether it's on Spotify or over on YouTube, let me know if you want me to just do like a quick, I don't know, less than 10-minute episode, just sharing some of the tools as an online business owner I am using to sell digital products online, because I'd love to share that with you, but I don't know if it's of interest or not. So let me know. So I think, well, not I think, I know. I am going to be I'm doing air quotes here if you're on listening on the podcast, launching in the traditional way for the whole of April this new offer. But I'm gonna do it in a Remi way, make it fun, make it not feel tedious. I certainly don't want to burn out. Um, so I'm going to try and do some fun stuff to make it fun for me. Because if it's fun for me, then it doesn't feel like work, and then it's like a joyful experience for me marketing. But if it feels like I'm just on the treadmill, I'm just on the hamster wheel of just really dull, boring, everyone types the same stuff type of marketing, I'm just not gonna enjoy it. And I want to enjoy every step of this. So um and like I said, I might still mix it up a bit with a pre-selling curveball that I might just throw in there as well. Um like fastest fingers first, and see how many nibbles on the bait we can get with a pre-selling kind of launch as well, maybe mixed in with the traditional. So yeah, I mean, I came on to talk about pre-selling versus launching, but maybe I'll do a bit of both. And you know what, there's no rules. There's no rules. People will tell you there's rules. You've got to launch this way and for this long, and it's like, yeah, how about I make up my own rules and just do what feels right for me? So, yeah, it might be a combination of pre selling and traditional launching that you see happening during the month of April. But yeah, so they're the two sides of the coins about how we get our digital offers out there, and what I'm thinking about in particular when we're talking about this $1 million offer and what strategy I'm going to use. I've literally just talked it out with you now, and I think I've made my decision on what I'm probably going to do. Um, yeah, and I'll probably just throw in some extra fun stuff, just like random fun stuff, because why not? Like, I'm here to push the boundaries. And for me, I want my business to always feel fun. Um, Even tax, like doing your taxes. I know taxes and you know, doing your forms are not fun, but you know, it can be. You can just get yourself a fun accountant or a fun bookkeeper. My accountant is amazing. So I just hand it over, have a giggle, pay them money, and I don't have to worry about it. So it's not stressful for me anymore. Um, But yeah, as much fun as I can inject into this to keep me like going, will probably be what I do. All right, 20 minutes. That's ridiculously long, Remi. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for listening. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do an episode on the tools and stuff. I did have a thought that's now jumped out of my brain about something I was going to do on the next episode, but I can't remember. But next week, we are definitely going to be talking more about the actual $1 million offer, how I created it, and what it is, who it's for. That's going to be next week's. Next week's going to be juicy. And I don't know what we're going to do for Thursday. I just had an idea, but it's gone. But it will come back to me. So, any thoughts that you want me to share with you? Any things that you think I've not covered yet that you'd love to hear about? Again, come into the community hub. Go to onlinebusinesstemple.com/hub and come and share with me things that you want to hear about. And I hope this has been really helpful for you. If you are thinking about launching a new offer, a new digital service, a new mastermind, or a new group program, or something like that, to think about pre-selling it or launching it. And actually, in the comments, I'll drop a link to my not in the comments, in the description, I will drop a link to my pre-selling course. I think it's like $49 or something like that. I can't remember. I'll pop that in the description. So if you are someone who's thinking about pre-selling and you've never pre-sold before, I will drop that link as well, so you can go and grab that. It's a really, really good training. Or if you're launching, then I wish you a happy and successful launch. So until the next time, my darlings, take care. Bye.